Hey everyone, weekly track roundup time. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. It's time to go over a bunch of songs that have dropped over the past week and talk about whether I loved them or hated them or felt somewhere in between. Yeah, that's the point of this video. That's what we do. That's what happens in this series. Also linked down below, because all the songs I talk about are linked down below. Our Turntable Lab link, we get kickback from it. Supports the channel while you spoil yourself with a turntable, with some vinyl, with some speakers, with whatever. Okay. Also, our Patreon page, get some extra bonus monthly content, classic album live streams, exclusive Let's Argues, and also access to our Discord community too, I hear. That's also a thing I heard. And Fantano Shorts, get all that good short form content, theneedledrop.com, news, articles, information dropping over there all the time. All the reviews getting thrown together too. And worst tracks of the week. They are as follows. It's just one. I'm going to be honest. New Jack Harlow track. Just Us featuring Doja Cat. I mean, the Doja Cat bits are hot. You know, it's a very flirty, playful song, but you know, she grabbing on my I'm adjusting my I'm coming in this man. Like, stop. Just stop. Either make a vulgar, sexy song or just stop. I'm tired of this boring, just vanilla sex rap. Just give it to me raunchy if you're going to do this. That's what I would prefer. I don't know. Yeah, it's underwhelming. All right. Meh. The tracks that I felt kind of on the fence with. Not loving them, not hating them, somewhere in between. You might like them more than me. They are as follows. We have a new one over here from Pigs, Glib Tongued. If you're into bands like Harvey Milk, Pissed Jeans, to an extent, I would say as well, bit of Melvins, that sort of vibe, the heavy, sludgy noise rock riffs, maybe even a little, Jesus Lizard, that kind of vibe, that kind of energy, wild lead vocals. I think you'll like what this band has to offer. Personally, for me, this particular track over here, Glib Tongued, wasn't really reinventing the wheel for this style and for this sound, outside of the fact that the track has an LP feature on it. Yes, East Coast rapper Def Jux Legend LP rapping over some like sludgy noise rock shit. Chat Pile too. I would say Chat Pile fans, I think, would appreciate what this band is doing. I may want to dig more into their stuff to see if like they do sort of wow me in the way that some of my favorite bands do in this particular lane. But if that's like really your vibe, if that's really your energy, check this track out, especially since it's rare you hear a rap song on this sort of thing. So, I mean, a rap verse is what I want to say on this sort of thing. So, I'll leave it there. Okay, the team up of the week that nobody saw coming, Fleet Foxes and Noah Cyrus. I mean, I'll say aesthetically, the song is definitely better than you would normally expect a Noah Cyrus song to sound, as it does have a bit of a Fleet Foxes vibe. In this picture, who's the fox and who's the Noah Cyrus? I don't know. I think the fox is the deer. Anyway, it's a pretty ballad, at least in terms of like the acoustics and some of the layering and the harmonies. But I do think the pianos and the chord progressions are kind of basic and uninspired. But, what else would you expect from a Noah Cyrus song? And we can leave it there. We also have NAV over here. First single from his new project, On My Way to Rexdale. New single cover over here. Looks like we're staring at three nabs just, on each other's shoulders in a trench coat, which is fine. Could just be two nabs. I'm not exactly sure. Either way, bit of a heartfelt vocal performance from NAV on this one. Metro Boomin beat isn't too bad. I mean, it's certainly a less basic than what they came out of the gate with all those years ago when they first collabed. So I don't know. Could be something there. It's fine for what it is. I'm not really offended by it like I have been, many a NAV song in the past. But who knows? Maybe his sound, I'm just getting acclimated to it at this point after all these years. We also have someone else who has put out a new song that I thought I would dislike a lot more. It's this one's from MGK, and while his particular brand of pop punk may not necessarily be my favorite, he has a few tracks here and there that I think are okay or kind of catchy. But what I really appreciate about this song is "Your Name Forever" is the title of the track. It is that it's a very heartfelt ballad about a friend he lost. And, you could really kind of feel it in the vocals. You could really kind of tell in the lyricism that he is really locked in and relaying something quite personal. And, it really sort of like sold it for me, on some level. It certainly felt, more emotionally in touch than some of his just kind of basic by the numbers punk rock stuff that he's dropped over the years. So appreciating this one a bit more from Mr. MGK. We have JT over here, Ran Out, kind of delivering to us a pretty standard, I would say, kind of Southern hip hop track. It very much like a strip club vibe from that era. It's like Magic City 20 years ago in terms of the vibe, the energy. And, again, another thing that's not necessarily reinventing the wheel, but just kind of bringing this sound back with at least an accuracy to the form, which I can appreciate. And I think vocally and flow wise, she, fits into this vibe really well. We have IDK teaming up with Joey Valence and Brae on here, which I feel like this song's kind of, hitting us with that normal, that regular, that to be expected Joey Valence and Brae formula outside of IDK kind of jumping in and bringing like some very Kanye inspired chords, like, I would say like Graduation or 808s era Kanye, not Vultures Kanye, not whatever the hell the new project is Kanye, more like that era of Kanye, and his vocals fit into that, auto-crooned aesthetic pretty well. And, surprisingly fits with these boom bap beats and, Joey and Brae raps too. So, not a bad team up though. Not exactly like kind of blowing me away in terms of a new song or anything like that on the writing side anyway. We have Jon Bellion over here, who's also kind of surprised me. A lot of artists in this video that normally I think would land pretty low in a weekly track roundup, but I'm like, oh, actually, this is not too bad. Jon Bellion's particular brand of Disney pop, hip hop, AJR, whatever you want to call it, mixture that he makes, is sounding quite a bit better and more mature. The vocal performance on this track is killer. The production is quite detailed as well. I guess at the end of the day, like, what sort of confused me about this song, it seems like there's a lot of focus going into it, a lot of talent, a lot of passion, and, again, some great production details. I don't know why you would put all this effort into just making a better version of a song that Post Malone wrote like 6 years ago. Again, it seems like a lot's going into it. And, to its credit, it does sound like a better version of a track Post Malone would have come out with 6 years ago. But still, it just seems like even with Jon maturing a bit artistically and stylistically, he's still kind of a little behind the ball. I don't know. So I was kind of taken aback in that way anyway. We have Ashnikko over here, who's dropping a little, clubby banger with a fierce instrumental, driving kicks, danceable grooves, and, very sassy, nasty, in-your-face vocals, all about, well, I got my heart broken. I'm going to wear a little skirt to the club and show everyone my butt and do it. And, that's something people want to do when they get broken up with. It's fine. It's totally fine. That's natural. It's normal. And, when that happens, you need a soundtrack. And Ashnikko did it. Ashnikko made the soundtrack for it. Okay, best tracks of the week. They are as follows. Boom, boom, bam, boom, boom. We have xWeaponx with Everybody Breaks, the gang vocals, the kickball snares, the breakdown riffs, the fierce lead vocals, just everything you want, and like just a bash your head in metalcore tune is here in spades on this track. No complaints, great performance, great production. It's nothing new for this style, but they're doing it like it's the first time, and you got to give them credit for that. All right, we have Wolves in the Throne Room, who miraculously, I guess, are putting out digitally, or, just like for streaming and everything. Their 2005 demo from way back in the day, which, like, damn, it's been 20 years since the 2005 demo, and Queen of the Borrowed Light still sounds fantastic. That's fire to me. Not quite as like atmospheric as the stuff they would, kind of like break through with a little bit later down the road, but the performance on this demo is still fantastic. I'll say that. While yes, again, Wolves in the Throne Room is definitely known for like having a very kind of spacey, somewhat dreamy, grim sound. When you kind of like uncover some of those layers on a demo like this, you really do hear like how aggressive and stellar the performances are, because this demo is raw as hell. Also, shout out to Tropical Fuckstorm, fantastic Australian band, born out of the ashes of the Drones. It kind of came to my attention. They've been doing their thing for so long. There may be some people who are kind of hearing about this band for the first time and may not necessarily know the Drones connection at this point. But yes, in fact, with the Drones, which was another great Australian band that I highly recommend to you guys, kind of now being defunct, members of that band kind of evolved things into Tropical Fuckstorm. They have come out with numerous records over the years at this point. They have another one on the way, and still at this current date, the very strange and ominous and noisy and kind of chaotic brand of art punk the group specializes in. They're still freaking specializing in it. New track is titled Bloodsport. It's got some great, strange, kind of sour, chirpy vocal harmonies on it. It's got some scuzzy, aggressive riffs on it too. It's quite an interesting listen. But every Tropical Fuckstorm album is. With a name like that, you got to bring something weird, and the band certainly does. All right. Also, been really enjoying, surprisingly, these latest singles from Sleigh, including this new one over here this summer, which I think is maybe the most orthodox song and single from this current album cycle. Bunky Baby Pocket. Oh my God, this album title's insane. Look, if you're looking for a driving, aggressive, high distortion, almost Andrew WK-esque summer rock jam, you're going to want to give this track a listen. This is fun. This is explosive. This is energetic in all the best ways. And most definitely worth your time. I think Sleigh may actually be, and there may be huge fans of the first record that may take issue with this. But with these tracks, I feel like the band's like really building up to like maybe their best album. Fingers crossed. I'm really hoping so. All right, let's continue on from there with this forthcoming LP from Planning for Burial, Flenser act over here that specializes in some very heavy ambient doom gaze type stuff, slow core, very dense walls of guitar, pained vocals, just layers upon layers upon layers of bassy distortion, and really enjoying our first taste of this upcoming album. First one in almost about 10 years, I want to say. At this point, it's been a minute since we've heard a new full-length album from Planning for Burial. Flowing Field of Green is the name of this new track. And if you're looking for something maybe a little Yesu inspired, that sort of thing, you're going to want to give this a spin for sure. Okay. Also, Lil Nas X. Enjoying Lil Nas X's new track over here, Lean On My Body, which is a multifaceted rap track that has some pretty aggressive, really angry bars on it from Montero. It would seem he feels as if, he has some detractors outside of music, yes, but also in music too, that he really wants to get some shit off of his chest about it and just really kind of like plant his flag in hip hop, plant his flag in the music world, and just be like, I'm here to stay. Screw all of you. And here's some fierce, aggressive bars that are quite insulting and mean. And yeah, I mean, it's very convincing. He's relentless. He's not letting go. Go Montero. That's all I got to say. Moving on from there, Tempest back with a new track, first one in a while, and some of the best production I have heard on a Tempest song in a minute too, and quite a powerful tune as well in terms of like the lyricism, the transition into the chorus, the overall meaning. I mean, obviously it's trying to directly address like a lot of the bigotry and the hatred and the othering and the marginalization of the LGBTQ community, the queer community right now. And, you know, it's a very, it's a revolutionary song in a lot of respects, but it's also a very assuring song in terms of like, you know, despite all this hatred, despite all the pushback, despite all of the hostility toward our existence, we're going to continue to exist. You know, and after everything is said and done, there'll be statues afterwards to sort of like, you know, prove the history of that, which, you know, I found to be quite inspiring. So, you know, fiery track from Tempest. All right, we have a shout out to the new Flying Lotus soundtrack album for Ash. Just going to point you guys toward one track off of it. Intrigue and Window is the name of it. And, you know, look, you could try this track out. You could try any number of songs from this thing. And, you know, you're going to get some really kind of tense, ominous sci-fi synths and some really crisp production as well. It's cool that Philo-has been kind of dabbling more and more into this sort of thing. Obviously, you know, huge multi-talent. And interesting to hear him sort of spread out in different ways, and you know, really make use of just all of his you know, all of the tools in his artistic toolkit with projects like this. And shout out to Deerhoof, finally, last one in the video here, who've just put out the closing track to their forthcoming album. And damn, is it like a really fiery and explosive closer. Immigrant Songs is the name of the track. And not only does it have some of the sickest beats and grooves to kick off any Deerhoof song in a while, but it has this ferocious, just relentless haze of noise rock outro, complete with like just blood-curdling screams. It's insane. It is a crazy outro, but I mean, if you know, you look at the content of the song, the singles from this album so far, a lot of the band's greater commentary on the state of the world recently, it does appear, you know, that obviously they're very frustrated with the current state of things, and you know, it's obviously coming out in the music in you know, some pretty real and intense ways, especially again if you hear this this just incredible explosive outro. So. But loving that, obviously. Weekly track roundup done, in the can. I'm your man. Over here next to my head is another video for you to check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, weekly tracks forever.